Alright, I'm about to show you guys how to make millions in passive income. Now I'm going to have another video where I show more active ways to make money. I'll leave that in the link in the description when it's finished. But for now, enjoy how to make your millions. Now I'm going to apologize for the choppy footage. Next time I'm going to use OBS to record so that doesn't happen. But, just bear with it. It's still good information. So first up is Miscellania. You're going to need to finish Throne of Miscellania quest. And I really recommend you also finish Royal Trouble. It increases your profits, gives you more workers, all sorts of stuff. The other thing you're going to need is about 1.2 mil starter cash. That lets you leave it alone for about a week before you have to go and collect it. Now to get there, you need a Ring of Wealth, and you use the Miscellania teleport. You're going to teleport into the throne room, and then the first thing you're going to want to do is get your approval rating to 100%. So the way it works is that the approval rating each day is how it collects how many resources you get. So it's not right before you collect. So it used to be people thought that right before you collect, if it's 100%, you get the full thing. No, you need to every day get your approval rating to 100% so it maintains 100% each time. If you finish Royal Trouble, and I believe some of the achievements for Fremennik Diary are also needed, but it'll go down about, I think, only 1% each day. So you only have to, do one thing basically to get that approval rating to 100%. I really recommend raking some grass because that gets it up pretty fast. You just need to rake like one grass and it gets it up 3% or something. After you get it to 100%, again, if it's gone lower than that, instead of raking grass, you can cut teak logs. It's on the opposite end of the island. Just cut those teak logs, they'll go up pretty fast. Maples work too, but I think teaks are the fastest way to get the approval rating up. Then you go back to the throne room, and then you collect your coffers. Now to figure out what the best thing to put your workers into is, you go to the Runescape Wikipedia page, and then you type in Managing Miscellania into the search bar. Now that's going to pop up a page, and then there should be a thing at the top that says Calculator. Click on the calculator, and then you click usually the most profitable thing is at the top, and then you can sort by the profit if it's not. And then you'll see the topmost thing and the second topmost things are the two things you want to put all your workers into. So put 10 workers into the most profitable, and then 5 workers into the second most profitable. This changes from time to time, so before you can collect, you can always check this. And basically you can manage the coffers before you collect them. So you can manage your workers and put what you want your workers into before you collect. So you don't have to do that at the beginning. You can do that at any time. And then when you collect, it'll be whatever you put your workers into. Now the profit of this is about 1.5 to 2 million per week. So that's a lot of money for pretty much doing nothing. Because all you're doing, once a day, it takes about a minute. You just go to Miscellania, you rake some grass, and then you leave. That gets it up to the 100%. You don't have to do that. You can maybe just get up the approval rating once a week. That works too. But really, it's hardly any work, and that's a couple mil a week that you get for doing nothing. Next up is player-owned ports. So you're going to need 90 in one of the following skills: agility, construction, cooking, divination, dungeoneering, fishing, herblore, hunter, prayer, runecrafting, slayer, or thieving. You only need it in one skill to start it. Unfortunately, it's going to take you months to get to the end game where you get the big rewards, but it's definitely worth it. I would start right now because you're going to need the scrimshaws for PVM. Not so much anything else, but mostly the scrimshaws. The 90 cooking, crafting, fletching, runecrafting, and smithing is for making all of the things you can make from player-owned ports. So 99 cooking, that'll get you the sailfish soup. 90 crafting will get you the scrimshaws, and 90 fletching, runecrafting, and smithing will get you each of the respective armors. You don't really need any quests or anything. It just takes a lot of time to start up. I'm going to leave a link to a player-owned ports guide down below when I finish that. So you get there by teleporting with the player-owned ports book, and then you have each of your ships. Now, I took the Trapper and the Assassin, as well as the Occultist and the Memory joint voyages, and I put those two out on joint voyages. That way, I can more likely get Bones missions. But basically, I used the two of my ships and then I re-roll all of the missions. This is what you want to do when you get to the end game. You keep re-rolling the missions until you get something that is materials. So in this case, I got an Ancient Bones, and I definitely always take the Ancient Bones because they're the most profitable mission you can take. Then I check my special voyages, and then I use the 2 ships to take them 2 most profitable voyages, and I send them out. Basically, once a day. The missions are so long that I only check them once a day. Once a day, I come and I collect all of my stuff. If I need to make sailfish soup, I go to the cooking place, and then I make the sailfish soup. If I need to make scrimshaws, I can do that. But usually I save the Ancient Bones so that I can make untradeable scrimshaws for myself for PVM. But I also use probably about half of them. I sell them. I'll make the best scrimshaw that I can make. You go to the RuneScape Wikipedia page, you look up scrimshaws, and then you sort by price per bone, and then you look at the most profitable one. In this case, we have either the scrimshaw of cruelty or the scrimshaw of the elements are usually the most profitable. Sometimes the scrimshaw of vampirism too, and then they're about 450k a bone. I make those, and then I sell them on the Grand Exchange. Really nice profit. So this is a good passive way once a day. You're only checking in once a day. It takes less than 2 minutes. Honestly, maybe 60 seconds to do. When you make your materials, make sure you choose the tradable option. You're going to want to make helmets for the plate, chi, and lacquer. And then, of course, because they're always the most profitable. And then you're going to want to make the most profitable for the scrimshaws each time. And then, of course, you're going to want to make the sailfish soup. All you need is the sailfish, and then you use the spices up. Now, the rewards from this are, again, Ancient Bones, spices, lacquer, chi, and plate. Ancient Bones is about 3.7 mil for 8 bones. 8 bones is a standard amount that you would get for the endgame. 40 spices is a standard amount you would get for the endgame. It's about 600k profit currently. About 1 mil for the lacquer for the helmet, 700k for the chi, and 315k for the plate. So always prioritize lacquer over everything else. But you want to try to get Ancient Bones missions the most. Those are going to be the most profitable. Spices are always really good to do. Lacquer is a bit meh because you need 30 lacquer to get 1 helmet. So I'd really prioritize spices and Ancient Bones because those are going to get you the most profits the quickest. Next up is the invention machines. These are probably some of the most passive ways to make income in the game. I personally use 2 Alchemizer Mark IIs and 1 Disassembler Mark II. So for my setup, you're going to need maple logs for the disassembler. Get a bunch of rune salvage. Any rune salvage size is fine. Any type of rune salvage. Some nature runes for the alching, and then divine charges for the jumbo generator. I also would advise saving your alchable slayer and boss drop so you can just throw them in there and not have to worry about them. So to get there, you're going to want to go to Falador, the Falador lodestone, and you're going to just walk up to the invention place. I believe it's the Invention Guild. And then you can also set a max guild portal there as well, but I frankly just use this method. Then you're going to want to go to the back, and the machines in the back you can build in the hotspots. Depending on the amount of machine power you have is how you can build the machines. Again, I use the Alchemizer Mark IIs. I put just a number of rune salvage, as much as you can spare to afford in there. You can choose the smaller rune salvages to make it cheaper. The profit doesn't actually change all that much. And then in the disassembler, you're going to want to put the maple logs, and you're going to want to turn the maple logs into divine charges. So the Alchemizer will spout out just straight up cash. You can use that to buy more salvage and then refill it, top it up. But the divine charges, or the simple parts, are what's going to come out of the disassembler. So you're going to want to go to the bench, buy a bunch of, usually incandescent energy is the best one to buy. Lustrous usually is pretty profitable too, I believe. Buy as much as you can of that, and then you're going to want to make as many divine charges as you can. And then so it's about, for 2 Alchemizer Mark IIs, you're getting about 5 to 6 mil a week. I like the Alchemizers over the other ones because the other ones are unpredictable in terms of where the profit goes. and you get about 6 mil a week from just that one auto disassembler. But again, it's not that passive because you do have to make the charges. But that's the kind of setup that I do like. I used to use 3 disassemblers, but now I use 2 alchemizers and 1 disassembler. Next up is player-owned farms. So you're going to need 17 construction minimum. 17 farming minimum, 20 construction minimum, but really recommend 92 farming for the dragons, mostly, or at least 60 farming. So you're going to want to start by going to the Manor Farm teleport. I now actually only have 2 dragons in the breeding pen. I experimented with 4, but I don't think they actually breed twice as fast, to be honest with you. I usually will try to muck out the dragon manure that I believe it's adolescent and older dragons will produce. That's really good for getting your ultra compost topped up for the next part that we will be going over. But for now, I put 2 elder dragons in the breeding pen, and then I'll grow the dragons in this other large pen, and then I won't put food in there, so I won't get the XP, but I don't really care about the XP. And then I grow chinchompas in the small pens because they're a decent amount of beans, because really you're doing this for the beans. But they're a decent amount of beans, and you want to get the red chinchompas because they provide you obviously the red chinchompas when you harvest them. And the seed is really cheap to feed them. Now you're also going to want to put the helpers, the farm helpers on there so that the animals don't grow past adolescent stage, so you get the most bean cell out of them. You can also put immune and joyful traits on the breeding animals so that you don't have to feed them because they'll stay at 100% health and happiness. And then once a day, usually I check, get the adolescent animals and sell them off. It gets me quite a bit of beans a week. Now, if you have higher farming, which you're going to need farming like 119 farming, like pretty high farming, you can farm the the dinosaurs. They give you bottled dinosaur roars, which are extremely profitable, as well as giving a lot of beans each week. I put two Rexes in the breeding pen. You can also put 2 venomous dinosaurs or 2 dinosaurs in the medium pen. I don't really bother with the small pen. Also for the other farm, you could put Zygamites in the medium pen if you want for some extra beans. But this will get you quite a few beans per week. You'll get around 30 to 40,000 beans a week if you have 120 farming. 425 bottled dinosaur roars, that's about 6 mil a week, and about 280 red chinchompas, which is about 380k a week. I don't really count the other stuff you get, but this is the most profitable stuff. So by itself, you're getting quite a few beans, and you're getting over 6 mil a week from it. Now, next up is probably the best thing, which is bloodweed farming. You're going to need magic secutors, a green fingers aura, juju farming potion, wilderness sword 1, ultra compost, 57 farming, bloodweed seeds, and the supreme growth potions, leafy. Make sure you get the leafy ones. Those you buy with the beans. It's about 1,000 beans each, and this is why we do the player-owned farming. So first up, you're going to want to teleport to the bloodweed patch, and then you're going to want to plant a seed, and then you're going to want to use the supreme leafy growth potion on it. Once you do that, it'll automatically grow to full, and then you're going to pick them. Now, if you have a farming cape on, you have a chance of noting everything and getting it instantly. And then you're going to want to just note the herbs with the leprechaun. Make sure you pay the leprechaun to use ultra compost. Again, if you don't have all of these things, it's okay, but it's really preferred to have pretty much everything of that. And then after a while, I take about 30 seeds at a time with me. I also take a familiar filled with food in case they're PKers. I log out every single time immediately when I see a PKer. You don't want to risk it. But with 30 seeds, I got about 450, I believe it's 450 herbs. You could easily get 500. It's about 10 mil profit a week from the bloodweeds themselves. Overall weekly profit, you're getting probably about 28 to 30 mil, not including player-owned ports. If you include player-owned ports, you're getting, you can add probably an extra 5 mil on top of that. So you're getting 33.88 to 35.38 mil. But yeah, it's about end game about extra 5 to 10 mil. So that was all the passive ways that I could think of to get income. I'm going to be making an active ways to get income. So things you can do, dailies, the stuff that doesn't take too much out of your day, but isn't quite considered passive. And I'm going to leave that in a link in the description down below when I'm done with that video. But if you like the video, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm really planning on making a lot more videos, planning on starting to stream on Twitch, so you'll be able to watch me there as well. I'll leave all the links on the screen here. But yeah, see you next time.